Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the NTW2025 for AI for Scrum Masterclass. I'm happy to welcome you all today. We're excited to have you join us for this insightful session. I would now like to introduce our trainer, Dr. Koti Reddy Bavamanam, who will be leading today's class. Dr. Koti, over to you.
Thank you. Shall we start or we will wait for a couple of minutes for the quorum?
You can start now, sir. Thank you.
Okay, let me just give me a moment.
Sure, sir. And requesting everyone to turn on your camera. Thank you.
Hope everybody can hear me okay and can see my screen as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. And we have another 55 minutes or so, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Let's get started. Thank you so much, team, GZ, and everyone to join here by taking your valuable time here. I am Dr. Koti, taking care of Agile practice at Garanto globally, and I am also an authorized instructor on various industry best trainer certifications, and we do a lot of Agile transformation at various capacities, at various organizations using all the latest and greatest frameworks. So we are being promoting a lot of Agile, especially on the emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and all in the recent past at Singapore and Malaysia from Garanto. And we are also taking this opportunity from the Malaysian National Training Week to spread some of the knowledge what Garanto is promoting to the globally. And this could be a great opportunity for us to handshake with the people in Malaysia and to help upskilling, right? So that is a little background about us and what we are trying to do. And today, what we have is in the current dynamically varying industry, AI is the big wave, big buzz, and everybody is talking about this quite for some time. And this is where the practical aspect are playing pretty much into the industry. All these days, it was just a kind of a purely a buzzword, but right now it is in the very well advanced state of implementing artificial intelligence everywhere. And obviously, when we are talking about Agile, Agile has got various flavors, various roles, and various ways of working. And how do you bring this artificial intelligence into the way of Agile working and enable the roles into the journey? That is the whole idea. And the attempt what we are making today is one of the most promising and interesting role is Scrum Master in the Scrum world. And knowing Agile and Scrum interchangeably using world today, because if you ask most of the Agile people, they will say, what are you doing? We are implementing Scrum. And if you ask most of the people who are implementing Scrum, what are your ways of life or what is our methodology or model, they will say Agile. We are doing Agile. So Agile and Scrum is so closely attached and going hand in hand. And the role, obviously, the Scrum Master has become pivotal for the success of Agile transformation or implementing Scrum. So we will try to understand what are some kind of possibilities and how a Scrum Master can leverage artificial intelligence for effectively playing their role. That is the goal. Now, before I move on further, so maybe I would like to give a couple of instructions. If you have any specific questions, you can put into the Zoom chart, right? Our admin can help us to navigate through the questions towards the end, if any. And I will try to give last 10 to 15 minutes for the questions and answers. And I will take another 40 minutes or so for the session so that you can clarify if any questions you have. I know again, artificial intelligence is a big world of ocean, and Agile itself so, and also the Scrum. Now, doing justice for integrating artificial intelligence into Agile and so Scrum Master role cannot happen in just 30-40 minutes, right? So there is a whole bunch of stuff you need to understand. And how do you really leverage this technology, right? And how do you leverage various tools? This is going to be a very big topic by itself. But I am trying to give you a big overview, or at least a kind of small doser for you to understand how this can help you to make your day-to-day life little easier. So I'll give you some ideas, and rest you can explore from various tools available out there. Now, here, the agenda is very simple, as I mentioned already. Introducing this little bit of artificial intelligence, application to Agile and Scrum, team collaborations, quality testing, and of course, how the future trends looks like and what are some ethical considerations, right? That's an agenda for the next 40 minutes or so. Here, if you look at the artificial intelligence and application of the Scrum Master, I wanted to call out in this slide. Basically, the Scrum Master is going to take care of certain things here, what you see on my screen, the process improvement, which he or she is supposed to take care to improve the day-to-day life of everybody in the team and show the success to the stakeholders. Now, the person has to manage the stakeholders as well. And there are various stakeholders, various needs, various times, various expectations. So how this person will do? And doing a lot of facilitations in most of the Scrum events, there should be a better way of doing by leveraging again artificial intelligence. Impediment resolution, how that can be done. Metrics and reporting is quite pivotal again for the leadership teams. And how do you mentor or coach or train people over a period of time? How you can leverage this? And how can you create a great culture from a team's point of view? You can name anything, you can leverage artificial intelligence for Scrum Master. So maybe I'll take one case or one example towards the end to talk about how you can really use artificial intelligence. And maybe we are all familiarized with Chat GPT already. I can probably open a Chat GPT and show you also how to write a good prompt. How do you get some good information from Scrum Master's point of view to run your day-to-day job more effectively and efficiently? Now, these are certain aspects where you can leverage, not just limiting to this, but you can do beyond this. Now, if you look at the original evolution and the definition of this artificial intelligence, basically we are feeding the human intelligence into the machine. And I always say on a lighter note, artificial intelligence is artificial intelligence. It cannot be human intelligence, which means you cannot replace human being just because of artificial intelligence. Everybody must understand this. Even artificial intelligence is built by human being only. It has not born by itself, right? So there is a lot of power in the humanity, the human nature, the kind of respect and the kind of attribute you need to give to the humanity into the game. How do you put that intelligence into the machines? They will lack the way it is. So garbage in, garbage out at times. You go to any advanced tools of artificial intelligence, you will see a disclaimer that the data from this artificial intelligence model could be wrong. They clearly call out everywhere. It could be a great test of the tools or the website or blogs or anywhere. If you go and generate the data from ChatGPT, also it's a disclaimer, which means no one can give the guarantee of the information from ChatGPT. I hope everybody understand that. So it's a human intelligence into the machines. The way you put it, the way you feed it, the way you teach it, the way you train it, it will going to help you. It is the same way all the models are working today. Now, machine learning on top of that, it takes a lot of information, and by processing that, it's going to give some patterns and trends. It's going to predict certain things. Now, NLP is the another important concept. What is being inculcated into this way of thing? Naturally, it understands the way people can understand from a neuro-linguistic programming point of view, and they process as a natural language processing, what we call. There is a close association between these NLPs. One part of the game is natural language processing, other way is neuro-linguistic programming. So how do you bring that humanity into the natural way of doing things from a technical point of view? The neural networks are the fundamental parts, how brain thinks. You have to think like a human being when you're going to apply this artificial intelligence by injecting into the machines. So these are certain basic patterns. Again, a lot of science behind that. I don't want to go to that route, but at least talking about certain few aspects for your understanding how this is working today, kind of thing, right? And then a brief history, early development happened in the mid of 20th century itself, as I was talking about. Everybody talks about AI, but not knowing how it works. Then, of course, based on the machine learnings and all of that stuff, it has gone into the roots, and now people are able to create a lot of deep learnings and technologies out there. Now here, current state, if you look at it, most of the stuff, advancements are happening. Multi-language models are being created. It's beyond the basic application of the artificial intelligence today, and most of things are getting automated. Again, there is a say and insecure feeling to the people as well. Our jobs are getting abolished. Our insecure feelings of jobs and a lot of things are happening, as you know, because of the automation happening. Apart from that, if you look at the data models and decision making as well, the predictive analytics are playing a vital role. So once upon a time, there were diseases, chronic diseases, where there was no remedy, and even people don't know what it means. So obviously, people wanted to understand. We need to really predict the future. If you are using artificial intelligence, leveraging data science and artificial intelligence through machine learning, people need to predict. Now, the current state of affairs on the AI is, even in future, what kind of diseases you can get into if you continue such a lifestyle. It's more proactive than reactive. That is the level of artificial intelligence people are applying today. And even a lot of long chronic diseases are being cured without any suffering to the patients. That is the level of advanced technology. If you apply the same thing to the agile environment, in agile environment, what is important for us? It is to improve the productivity. It is to improve the efficiency. It is to improve the optimizing and saving time and so the cost. Now, what are the ways you can get there? You can really improvise the things. I think there is no limitation on any of the departments or domains in today's world, and so Agile, and so Scrum and the roles what we are talking about. Here, if you look at it, some application in the Agile and Scrum in specific. Now, there are a lot of tools today. If you observe Jira, Rally, even Mingle, even digital assets kind of Kanban models, project management tools, all the tools have an integration to the artificial intelligence. Now, the amount of time it is going to take is way beyond what you can even imagine, right? So, the task tracking, especially when it comes to the tools like Jira and Trello, the artificial intelligence can track and report and put a flash onto the people's emails and everything. Now, sometime back, what used to happen before artificial intelligence comes to the market? Now, a Scrum Master has to go to a tool and go to your team area, and you need to create a dashboard or pull a dashboard, and then you need to flush into the emails or the organizational display boards, whatever it is. There is a lot of laborious work for Scrum Master when he or she go to the office. Now today what is happening, because of this artificial integration integrated as a whatever the plugins are direct integration, all these reports are automatically pulled. And Scrum Master need not to worry about what my team is doing, what my program is doing, how much is done, not done. Everything is seamless. And that is the power of artificial intelligence. That is the power of latest and greatest tools working closely with all the project management tools. Performance analysis. Again, the metrics what we are talking about. The metrics are tracked and improvised automatically. And everything at one place is being generated on a single click. And of course, the collaboration is way beyond what we can think about because of this artificial intelligence. Even the note takers in the meetings, the minutes of meetings, and even the way reminders it comes, the way it organizes, it clears the virtual space, everything is automated using artificial intelligence. In other words, we do what we are supposed to do technically, right? And anything and everything in terms of administrative activity which eats your valuable time can be simply eradicated by using this artificial intelligence. Not only that, you name anything today you can perform on a single click using artificial intelligence. I know when I'm speaking to a few of my friends and colleagues and earlier my students and my peers earlier, I don't think anybody is really leveraging agile coaches when they are working as a scrum masters in their teams. And they are not going to any depth of prompts also in the artificial intelligence. They are just relying on the chat GPT. And chat GPT is so powerful. If I know how to ask a question, you will get everything. And everything from various aspects of the coaches globally. It's not a single pointed solution. And that is the power. Now, the only thing is you should get an art of asking the questions in the right way. When I'm asking the right way, I can ask one question to ChatGPT that can get you some information. But if you ask the same question differently, it will give you very different information. But your intention of question might be same. But the way you are asking is different, but it will process way beyond your thinking. You may get answers very differently also. The bottom line is, how can you master the art of asking question? In other words, in artificial intelligence terminology, it is prompt. How do you prompt the tool depends on the quality of the outcome you get. So anybody is going to leverage this artificial intelligence, you must be having a good art of asking questions, right? So then enhancing sprint planning with artificial intelligence, we have some data analysis here, some task prioritization and resource allocations. Now, if I may take you to some other things here. There are various tools available. If you can see my screen, one of the tool is Parable. So again, in the interest of time, I'm not going to talk about a whole bunch of tools. There are at least thousands, if not lakhs, there are thousands of tools available today in the artificial intelligence, which you can leverage in your day-to-day life. Now, if you look at this Parable, see very simple stuff and free access. You can upgrade to the licensed ones if you want to go to the next other depth. There are histories, tasks. You can add teams. You can invite them to this area. You can play sprint pokers, planning pokers. You can do estimations. You can also do the meetings, whatever comes to your in general ways of working. Now, you can customize anything. You can do retrospection meeting. You can do estimation meeting. You can do stand-up, daily sync-up. This is the review meeting. You can have a strategy meeting. You can do pre-mortem and post-mortem, before and after. You can do anything and everything. You can do some other examples kind of these things. Now, if you do a stand-up kind of meeting, you can start this by inviting the people into the game. You can schedule it if you want. You can start the activity if you want. You can have the options of inviting people, ending it, configuring it. Based on the people you are inviting, they will be able to add and they will be able to contribute, and nothing to be worried about the process, tracking, and everything. Now, what usually happen? in a daily sync up meeting, what are you working on? Where do you stuck? That is the most important thing. That question is also prefabricated here. And you can modify and you can edit and you can put all the things and you can use the prompts here. Right? Once you do this, automatically what happens? People give the data. Again, it can be anywhere across the globe, not necessarily in person. It will summarize, it will create the improvement tracker, it will generate the action items, it will share and communicate. That is the power of these tools. You do your job of just assembling and talking what is your current state of affairs. Rest everything is taken care by the tool. I'm just giving an example of how these tools can work. And again, of course, in the interest of time, I'm not conducting this as a workshop. It is just a kind of providing some ideas to you so that you can take this forward to explore more kind of these tools. And if anybody is interested, after the session, I will be sharing a list of tools for various aspects. And again, there are multiple tools available for every single aspect. For example, I want to do a sprint planning. Using artificial intelligence, there are hundreds of tools available again. Not one tool, we can take it forward, right? So it's all depending upon what is our comfort. Again, artificial intelligence tools also need to be integrated to the project management tools. If you're using Jira, there are set of tools you can use it. If you're using Rally, you can use a different set of tools. Again, when it comes to this kind of technological advancements, the only challenge is the tools are unlimited. Artificial intelligence is a kind of a technological advancement to leverage the human intelligence into the machines. But then there are 1,000 ways are available. I cannot just point to a single thing, and you cannot rely on a single thing. You must understand your organizational dynamics, your technological advancements, your strategical linking of these tools and techniques together based on the tool strategy. So those who are interested can connect offline. We can definitely provide some kind of more clarity on the tools and techniques and some integrations if you want. Otherwise, you can explore by yourself as well. Now, if we go back to this stuff, all the way from insights to the stories and tasks and resource allocations, everything is taken care by the AI. Just you need to integrate, you can feed in there. Then there is a lot task prioritization and also workload management. So typically what we do when we are talking about in a sprint plan meeting, anything, so we have to really make sure that we have right people in the team with the right functional skills, and we should know that what is their capacity available and how they are allocated to the various user stories. It's a lot of manual work. Though we are using tool, we go to Jira, for example, we create the team, we create the stories, we add the task, we do a lot of those things. Now with AI, with these kind of plugins and the tools, all you need to create the team and stories. You know what? Based on their calendars and everything, they will allocate the work based on the functional skill automatically, and they will create a supply and demand balance tracker as well, which means what is my team capacity and what is the work allocations, what are the tasks, who will be taking what. Lot of automation also practically possible based on how do you teach the tool to do your sprint planning. It's a one-time job. You configure it, you leave it, everything is done. And even you may surprise, it will write a sprint goal at the end of the sprint planning. So earlier what used to happen? Some teams don't have sprint goals. They don't know how to write. Because we are training the model here, now this will take care of everything. Writing a sprint goal also as per the tasks planned in the given time available in the sprint time box. That is the power of AI tool again. Again, tracking, updating, a lot of those things can be automated. Now the next one is team collaboration again. There are a lot of collaboration tools, again, AI powered available. How do you share the information? How do you streamline this across the globe? How do you connect the dots with the different people at different levels of availability? They all will be taken care here. Then if you look at it, remote facilitation, a lot of communication gaps will be there. Now these tools can bridge that gap virtually. And also the tools can improve various connectivity of the platforms from a real-time perspective. And also people can really proactively connect to various team members in the remote way. Now, the current way of definition of remote work is when people are not in the same room and they are connected differently using their VPN or XYZ. That's the only remote setup. Now, how do you really bring synergies using AI to improve that remote connected work is what ultimately AI can improvise that. Again, tools are available. You can plug into your day-to-day life of, it could be Zoom. Even if you look at the Zoom, right? Zoom has got artificial intelligence. Now, suppose you guys are in Malaysia, I am in India, somebody else in XYZ place, Philippines. Now we all can connect to the same platform of this session using Zoom. That is the capability available long time back. What is the great thing today? Now, today's, if you want to enable the Zoom capabilities from AI point of view, artificial intelligence has got a lot of information here. Now, how that works here, if I enable artificial intelligence, for example, I expect 15 people in my session. If I train my Zoom, it will tell how many people are there, how many people are not there, how much time I should wait, I should start or not. Like I asked my admin in the beginning. Now, artificial intelligence can help me whether I should start my meeting or not, at what time I should start, how many people are there, what is going on. If somebody is giving a message in the chat box, earlier I have to go and click on the chat and see by interrupting myself. But I can train my AI to tell me the message on the flash, which you cannot see, only I can see. And whatever I am trying to speak here, if I train it to do automatic recording, it will automatically record. If I give some pause, it will pause. If I ask it to give a good summary of my meeting at the end of the discussion, it will create a summary. It will send everybody, whoever is registered to this meeting. And if there should be an action item tracker to be created from this meeting, it will create, it will communicate. And it will follow up. It is not one-time job, by the way. That is the power of artificial intelligence. It is not just a meeting connected virtually using Zoom. It is way beyond. How do you control? How do you navigate? How do you follow up? How do you get the crux of the game? All you are just joining, nothing else you are doing. But then a lot of other things are being taken care by the plugin or the ability of the artificial intelligence into the Zoom tool. The same way, if I go to my remote working tools, what I am using, it could be Microsoft Teams, it could be anything. They all have the artificial intelligence to bring more synergies to the people, just not limiting to connected to a same platform. Connecting to the Teams meeting is one part of the game, but how it can help you to improvise the productivity of the team, artificial intelligence is going to further help you. Now again, real-time feedback and sentiment analysis. We have got a lot of tools, integrations again into the artificial intelligence way of life to any of the tools you are using. They are going to process the information from the real time. For example, daily sync up you are joining. How many people join, how many people not join, at what time they join, how much time is left, what people are talking. They go to that extent of analysis as well. Sometimes real-time feedback also matters. If I am telling about one update and if artificial intelligence can sense what you are speaking, it will automatically create an impediment for you in the impediment tracker. That is the power of real-time feedback and sentiment analysis means. Again, in the interest of time, I'm not going to play various tools here. Just I'm giving you some ideas as it is very first session here, some kind of introduction and basic for Scrum Master's way of life. But those people interested could come back to us. We'll talk about some more live demos and all. If you're interested, come back to us and ask us. We'll try to provide some more information. Now, how this Chart GPT works? Chart GPT also one flavor of this artificial intelligence, which is leveraging behind the scene. and it collects a lot of data, right? And they are trying to give the data in a way which is acceptable to the external world. Now, if I ask my chat GPT on certain thing, if you don't care about that particular information, it can flush out any information regardless of the source of truth. If I train it properly under certain policies, as per the compliance, as per the ethical things, it will be able to give the outcome. Now, the prompt is the most important thing as we are talking about. That prompts with some good labels, you are going to pass it on. And again, the versions of the GPT, XYZ versions and all fine. They will use that and they will collect the information and they are going to compare various sources of truth and they are going to release the data based on the prompt you are talking about. And this is called language models. Now, people are talking about large language models, LLMs, and all of that, advanced concept of chat GPT. So we are just simply typing something what we wanted, but the end, it retrieves the data based on what we wanted. Now, if you go to this chat GPT again here, right? So just I asked one question. Just before the session, generate a table with tips and tricks for Scrum Masters on how to use AI. Now, what it replied? It created a table and it created some use cases, sprint planning, daily stand up, and so on and so forth, all the way to including learning and upskilling for Scrum Master. Now, what it is talking about? What is the AI tool type? It could be task estimation or co-pilot tools. Daily stand-up, what kind of things we need? A meeting summarizer or transcribers for the data. Backlog refinement, we need some chartboards. We may need some NLP assistants. Similarly, retrospective sentiment analysis and AI survey tools. For burn down, we need predictive analytics tools. Facilitation, prompt-based idea tools. Now, coaching conversation, AI coaching assistants. Now, suppose if I am going to ask a question for coach myself as a Scrum Master, there are some coaching assistants available using artificial intelligence. They will be providing you the coaching assistance virtually as good as a human being. Though the human intelligence is missing, but that is injected into the machines as we talked about. Continuous improvement, there are workflow managers available. Now, if you look at these tips and tricks, we have to use those information and then create those data points as per the needs of the stakeholders. Now, some tools like Otter.ai, Fireflies, and all these things are a good meeting takers, note takers, if you understand. Now, impact, obviously, you can understand it can go beyond what you can think about. Make sense? If you want to ask again, compare various tools. Various AI tools for sprint planning. Now, this is again the way you ask, it will get you the information. If I change a little bit of tweak in the question, you will get a whole bunch of different information. Now, that is the reason you should be very careful when you're using Chat GPT also. It's not about a question what you ask, it's the quality of the question which can help you to do the right things in the right way to save the time. Now, the tools it is talking about, see, whole bunch of tools, very famous Atlassian Jira, we all know. Chat GPT, the open UI, even Click UI app, Linear, Asana is also very, very famous nowadays. Azure DevOps is powerful from the DevOps .NET points of view. GitHub Copilot is there, Craft.io, and many more. Now, the type, why do you care about these tools? In which aspect it will be more useful? And key features. What is the strength? What is the limitation? And also it is talking about best for. Now, Earlier, you imagine 1 year back, or maybe a couple of years back, if you want to do an analysis of these tools to compare how much effort it might be required and how much time you might have spent on getting this data. I would have gone to Google, I would have downloaded something, again gone to Google or XYZ, I would have downloaded so many things, and I would have done manual comparison. In that process, I might have lost. I'll create something whatever makes sense to my limited mind. Now here, these tools, artificial intelligence, especially the kind of chat GPT, what I am using right now, it is trained in millions of ways with millions of patterns and data behind the scene. And so it could just fetch the data in a flip of seconds, which would otherwise might have taken a week time. So I still remember when I was working, my boss asked me one time, okay, can you compare all the frameworks with some pros, cons and come back? I took definitely, I think more than a month. Now this is the power of the chat GPT and beyond. Chat GPT is the basic thing as per me today, but I'm taking it's a simple to explain an example, so I'm talking about it. So create a table comparison compare various agile frameworks and report their pros and cons using a table. See how beautifully and how powerfully it is helping us. Now, if somebody is asking you like what I am asking right now, as I told, I took roughly a month, a few years back to get into this kind of report. Now, how much time it is taken? How much time it is taken? It's just a fraction of seconds. Now, Scrum, Kanban, Safe, Less, Extreme Programming, Discipline Agile, Nexus, Spotify, Crystal, whatnot. These are the most powerful things across the globe. If you go and look at anywhere, you don't find beyond this at least. There are some models, of course, Agile Unified models, REST Unified models, and all of that. But these are most popular. If you ask questions differently, it will fetch that information also. But this is good enough. Now it is described, it is talking about pros, cons, best use case also, proactively without me asking. The recommendations. Even you can create, you can simply ask a question and ask for some recommendation. It will help you to do the right recommendations. Right? That is the power of artificial intelligence. And again, we are talking about very, very, very basic stuff from Chat GPT. Now, if you go to the real artificial intelligence, the tools and models available out there, it will do all wonders for you. And most of them are open source. And again, based on your organizational limitations on the exposure to the outside networks and using those tools, it might be a limitation. But otherwise, sky is the only limit today. And if you look at the last 1 year trends, earlier I used to get every day some calls for somebody on either mentoring and coaching and all of that. For the last 6 months at least, I hardly get any calls except my mandatory transformations and trainings and all of that. A general inquiries from my network has got reduced humongously. Why is that? That is the power of artificial intelligence everybody is leveraging. And even I advised in my general trainings also, when I go to talk to people, don't waste your time and my time. Now leverage the technology. Everything is at our fingertips. If you know what is your goal, there are various ways you can solve the problems by yourself, even more effectively, right? So I would urge you, everyone, to just make sure that leverage this greatest and latest technology and the tools available as per your context. And ChatGPT is the bare minimal anybody can use in everyday life. So recently, when I was talking to my kid, he is a chess player. So you know what? He went to one visa center for a visa. He has to travel to play abroad in Europe country, and at the visa center, this is not like a American consulate kind of thing. It's a kind of BLS center for the Spain. It's like a normal walk-in kind of in some building, some office is there. Unlike American consulting, like a security where you cannot carry mobile phones and all. A simple application counter you need to submit. So they were asking about the small change in the name. He is 12 years old, and when they say your name is not mentioned clearly in the application, so he said that no, it is applied properly. We filled everything fine. In the print, it may not be coming, but in the system, it is all right. They said, no way, it is not going to work. We cannot take the documents. You have to take another appointment. You have to come back again. No, because this guy also learning, maybe Allah being with me or knowing the friends around him, he immediately opened ChatGPT in the mobile. He just searched Spain consulting process and correction in the name. Do you need a new appointment or we can do modification? So ChatGPT clearly says no new appointment is required, no new application is required. You can simply give the documents and fill fresh application over the counter. See, the point what I'm trying to say is, at times you cannot argue at those kind of sensitive places, but at least you can show the source of truth and you can validate it. I'm not telling it is 100% true as I told you, but those guys knows what are the rules, what are the not rules, right? You also know when you go to this kind of visa processing, sometimes you have no say in it, whether they give it or they don't give it. It's kind of sometimes your fortune. But these kind of things are helping you what is right, what is not right, at least to validate a point which it can help. And the same thing, they are asking, give me your PAN card. In India, personal account number is the income tax number. Everybody will have your financial transactions and you report it to the government. The PAN number is there. So that guy was asking again, give me your PAN card. So he said, I'm a student. Even not a student, I'm a chess player learning. I'm 12 years old, I don't have PAN card. They said, no, you need to give it. Again, he asked ChatGPT. In India, can a 12 years boy can have a PAN card? So it replied saying that it is not a mandate. A minimum age for a PAN card to apply is 18 years old in India. See how beautifully he can defend. Forget about the outcome, but at least he has some information. He is leveraging artificial intelligence using ChatGPT to answer someone on the fly. Imagine what happened to the kids of our age, earlier days. Deaf and dumb, we cannot do anything about it. Even if you know, you can't speak. So the technology is making so much of benefit in today's world. Scrum Master is just a role. But think beyond Scrum Master, think beyond Agile, think beyond everything, our professional, personal life. As long as you know how to leverage these technologies into your day-to-day life, that is the utmost benefit I am looking at. These roles comes and goes, Agile comes and goes, everything comes and goes, including AI. But how are you leveraging that? And how are you getting benefit from that? The right time, right tools, right way, that will change the way you work and think. That's what I would just recommend and advise you to go around that. Now same thing, quality everything can be automated. Nowadays, proactive bug detections, error seedings, defect implementations, all of that are becoming quite easy and obvious things into the software and so the hardware and everywhere. Now, faster deliveries, faster testings, reducing lead times we are talking about. Again, by applying the artificial intelligence, they are all coming to the life without you intervening. So it's making your life easier to enhance the productivity, to improve the quality, to reduce the time to the market as well. Again, tools are available. You can get the ideas. You can integrate them into the ways of life. It will help you. Predictive analytics I talked about, risk management, not only healthcare, it is also in the Agile and Scrum, the impediments, the way of working. What do you anticipate well before the problem occurs? The tools are available, which a Scrum Master can leverage again from that point of view, right? Some of the future trends and ethical considerations. So the decision makings are important. The process optimizations we need to continuously do. And again, whenever you are getting some information, you should be ethically right. You cannot just put any information, or the training of the models is not a good. If you don't train those language models in the right compliance way, again, it's not going to help. And because that's not a rule book anyway, right? It is assimilating some information, it is processing and reporting for you. So be aware of that, be ethical, and make sure that you are giving the right information in the right way. And also, the implications could be data privacy concerns. And if you do some bias in AI algorithms, it's not going to help anyway. And people don't rely and trust on you. And of course, it will obviously impact the job roles, that insecurity, failing, and everything comes. And we must be very careful about doing the right things in the right way to report and tell to the people in a way it is supposed to be. And it should not become a kind of, mal practices using this AI without being compliant to the ethical practices, right? Okay, so obviously, you can do as a Scrum Master, proactive preparations you can do. You can upskill some team members using the AI. You can adopt various tools to improve the innovation and implementation as well. Ultimately, AI and Agile practices can help you to enhance the team collaboration and quality and so the outcomes for a period of time. And also, if you look at it, one of the interesting fact, what is that I would say? Presentation also, what I do, you typically take maybe a week time if you want to really do this. But then when I wanted to use the artificial intelligence, it took 5 minutes to generate it. It may be surprising that the presentation, what I do, it took hardly 5 minutes to generate this. Then I try to modify the things on what I want to teach to you. You know what I'm saying? The presentation, whatever I spoken today, it took hardly few seconds, not even 5 minutes, to generate. And that is the power of artificial intelligence everywhere. He could be a rocket scientist, he could be a trainee, he could be a teacher, he could be XYZ, you could be administrator, you could be administrative assistant, you could be anybody in the company. You can leverage artificial intelligence to the best in class possibility. So with that, I would recommend each one of you to take care of these tools and techniques to integrate into your way of life and then move forward. Right? So I'll take a place here. I'll take any questions if anybody is having.
Feel free to ask question, and if you don't want, you can write it here in the chat. Thank you. And I'm requesting everyone to turn on your camera for the photo attendance. Thank you so much.
So silence is golden. Looks like no questions. So all is well and people are happy at least for now.
Thank you for today, sir.
Thank you. Shall I stay back or